Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear
Happy
us and see us?
Thursday.
It's always
Wonderful.
it's always like a gamble. It's like, can you see us? Can you hear
Yeah, is
us?
everything good? Hi.
Do we exist?
I
Who's to
hope
say?
everyone's having a beautiful day.
It's a third. Oh, this is like my mental reminder, Ash, that it's a Thursday because we do this, and
It
I'm
is a
like,
beautiful Thursday.
it is a
Yes.
Thursday.
Wonderful. Good. You can hear and see us. Wonderful,
Perfect.
fantastic, incredible, beautiful. We have a wonderful episode today
We
that's
do.
going to talk about some pretty businessy stuff. So before we get into that, we can do some fun little intros. So, Blizz, how are you doing today? What have you been up to the last week?
Uh, Let me open up my Google Calendar real quick and definitely let you know. It's been a fun week for sure. By that I mean it's been super busy. I'm
Mhm.
preparing for doing Extra Life and a charity stream stuff. So I've been really like full with that. But it was Halloween. It was
It was
Halloween this
indeed.
week or weekend. I don't know what your costumes were. I don't know if I saw your costumes.
Um, the morning I did just like a funky little makeup look just because I was like, whatever. It was kind of like a jestery, kind of like the Crow inspired look. I just
Okay.
was like doing my makeup and it was of its own mind. And then I was like, I just don't want to get wild because I just want to focus on playing games and look a little spooky.
Yeah.
But then at night I dressed up as Tingle from Zelda. So
Oh. Yeah, I that's one of my favorite things about you is that when you dressed up as Tingle and then the creator of Tingle like commented
yeah.
and retweeted your stuff, I was like, "Oh my
Yeah, he
god."
drew my little picture I posted. He drew a little tingle floating with me in the air, and it made me want to cry.
So cute. I went as Pete Davidson from the movie Bodies Bodies Bodies, which is a great queer movie if you haven't seen it. Um Story time about that though, Ash.
Oh.
I was going to a Halloween party and we
Hmm.
got lost on our way there, kind of like we didn't know where the house was. And
Yeah.
so imagine me walking around with
Covered in blood.
covered in blood in a neighborhood. There are people outside of the neighborhood, like trying, like just in their yards and stuff. So you see a
Yeah.
man walking with a bloody arm. Ashley, did you know that it's cheaper to buy a real machete on Amazon than a prop one? Or so I typed in prop machete on Amazon and I
Uh-huh.
found one for $12, and I was like, oh, thank God it's $12. It can get shipped in like 2 days. Prime, love that. It gets to my house the Friday. Friday is the day of the party. It gets to the house at like 6 p.m. So it's gonna be too late for me to send anything back. I open it and I go, why is there a sheath? Okay, weird. And then I pull out a real machete.
That's
So
insane. Why?
so now let's go back to the scene of me walking around the neighborhood. I am holding a champagne bottle and a machete covered in blood.
My God.
So that was my Friday fit, and then on Saturday I dressed up as Velma, which was a lot of
Yes,
fun.
which is great.
I I don't wear skirts often, but honestly, I kind of like it because I get a lot of airflow, and I'm like,
Yeah.
skirts are great. This is a great time. But yeah, I did Velma. It was a lot of fun. I did the Where's My Glasses like bit and everything. And yeah, my Halloween weekend was a little fun. It was my coworker's birthday a couple days ago. She's like a day after Halloween. So we did a lot of
Oh.
karaoke. I sung my heart out at karaoke in one of those private rooms. And then that's basically my week. What about you, Ash?
I had my first Halloween where I was giving out candy. Because and everywhere else I've lived, there's been like no trick or treaters. So yeah, we decorated our house and had like at least like it was so weird because I have like friends that live really close to us, and we were all talking about being prepared. And it's like, oh, we have a lot of like young kids in the area. Like, be ready, because I knew that our place would be nuts because I know that we have at least like four families in like just the little square around me, right? And so I'm like, all right, we're gonna be prepared, and it was overwhelming. There was like when it was really busy, There was literally like multiple times where I would open the door, give out the candy, close the door, take 3 steps away from the door, and then more kids would knock on the door. And I'm like, where the hell are you coming from? Like, you could not sit down because there was more children showing up. So I was like, getting overwhelmed. And then at one point, this is a fun story, is I go out, I open the door, and there's this guy. He's like, oh my God, hey, nice to meet you. I'm your neighbor. I live right there. And I'm dressed up as Tingle with a freaking little soul patch thing, huge little, like, my little green outfit, my little tight suit. I'm like, great to meet you. Hi, I'm Ashley. Wow, cool. And
This
I'm
is a
like,
great first
wow, okay.
impression.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, we saw a couple neighbors, and I'm like, really cool of you guys to see me like this. Anyways, that's fine.
Well, now they know you as the
Um,
fun neighbor, though.
it's true.
So,
Yeah, we had some cool decorations, and I had a funky little costume. So like whatever, but I was like, okay, sweet, love that, really cool. But yeah, we had like at least 60 trick or treaters,
okay.
maybe more, 60
That's
to
a
70.
lot. Did you run out of candy or did you have enough candy?
No, we don't have much left,
Okay.
but we bought 3 boxes of candy. I think we had, I'll say like 150 pieces of candy, and we were over halfway done.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a lot of candy that we ran through. But yeah, our friends that live like 2 minutes away got like 6 trick-or-treaters.
Oh.
And I'm like, how? You live literally 2 seconds away. That's
Did,
weird.
I guess did their
But
house look presentable for I don't
yeah,
know how this works.
they
Oh,
had to
okay.
dress up. I think it's just because like they were like off on like a street that like didn't like loop properly with like a bunch of other houses. So maybe
Mm.
it's just like the more bang for your buck would be going like in a more populated spot or something. But it was just kind of like a, oh, how? Because it was really not that far. But yeah, it was wild. But yeah, it was like just constant, and then stopped. And I looked outside to like turn everything off because Max and I were gonna eat dinner, and I they didn't see a soul on the street. Like it wasn't even Halloween. I'm like, what happened?
I've
Crazy.
always like made it my goal. So when I get a house and I'm also dealing with trick-or-treaters, I made it a goal to be as successful enough to be the house that
With the
has the
full
full
size
candy
candy bar.
bars. That's my goal in life is to be so successful that I can give out full-size candy bars for people.
Yeah, that that is the dream. That is the goal.
That is the absolute goal. Okay, so I actually, do you know about me and trick or treating? I don't know if I talked to you about this. I've
Yeah, I
never,
think we talked last week that you never got to trick or treat.
yeah. So like eventually one of these days I will. Hopefully, I have a baby cousin. When my baby cousin grows up, he's gonna want to trick or treat, and I'm just gonna go with him and be like,
Yep.
hey, I'm gonna be your guardian for this, and this is how this is gonna work out. This is more for my inner healing, but also your first
Yeah.
time experience.
Well, Max and I were talking, and there were so many costumes that were just like helmets, and I'm like, dude, I'm short as hell. I could just put
Yeah,
on like a mask, and no one's gonna know.
no one's
No one's
gonna
gonna know that I'm
know.
almost 30. They're gonna give me
Yeah.
candy, and I'm gonna walk away.
I'm 6'1", so I can't do that. Um, but yeah, it was Halloween was definitely a fun time. I had something that I was gonna ask you about your Tinkle costume, and I actually can't remember anymore. I don't know. Did any of your other neighbors like dress up, or do you know? Like,
Kind of. It was
okay,
like parents of like really little kids, so they were kind of like,
okay,
whatever. My neighbor was like a firefighter. I'm like,
okay.
cool, okay,
Oh,
and that's like it.
was his occupation actually being a firefighter? Because that's cheating. You can't dress up as that.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. I at first when I opened the door because I know that he works in construction, and it looked like he was just wearing like just like PPE like for construction shit, like the like highlighted pants and things, and I'm like, hmm. And then I saw that he's got like a fire badge, and I'm like, okay, fine. You're not cheating, and
You're
that's
not cheating.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a okay, but I want you to know you're on thin ice.
You're thin ice, bud. Yeah,
This
and
is
yeah, I feel like well, I feel like ours was like the most done up for a bit. Like Max put out like a speaker system that was playing like spooky sounds and stuff. I
oh,
had like lighting set up, had like spider webs and like creepy like baby heads and things. We were creepy.
Ashley, you're
We were cute.
so close to reaching success of being a full candy bar household.
So
Like
close.
you are
So
setting up
close.
things. I think next year it might be your time.
I would Love that. Just like go to like Costco and buy a bunch of full-size candy bars on
Yeah,
bulk and just store them for like
be
why like, hey,
prepared. um,
let's have these.
I think R William in chat put up something. It's kind of a side note, but relating to my story.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
gone karaokeing before? Karaoke?
No.
Gone to karaoke? You haven't?
No, I haven't.
I feel like
Never
you're a good
once.
singer.
Oh, thank you. God.
That
I do
shocks me.
like to sing. I sing a lot, but I don't have a go-to karaoke song because I've never done karaoke.
Okay.
Um, hold on. Let me look on my phone real quick because I definitely have a tiny playlist that has, I think, one or two songs in it that are like, oh my God, I need to start planning for karaoke because I'm gonna do it. Because
You're gonna
now
be in
my
a
friends are starting to
situation.
know that
Hmm.
I have never gone. And so they're like, that's not gonna be for long. I'm like, okay.
Ash, if you ever come back to Austin, I am renting a karaoke room,
Oh
and
my
we're
God.
going to I know several places.
Hell yeah. We're gonna have to for
We're gonna do
sure.
it. I would say, like, personally, for my go-to karaoke, I have three songs that I choose from, and I'm good at ballads. I'm good at ballads.
Nice.
Anything that's too fast paced, I'm usually like, no, I'm okay. But Say Something
Mm,
is one. Love on the Brain by Rihanna
nice.
is the other, and then um Ain't It Fun by Paramore, because that's
Fun.
a easy
Yeah.
fun one. So
I have two now
okay.
that are kind of random, but I be singing. So when Canned Heat by Jamiroquai comes on my playlist, I sing every goddamn word of that song.
Okay.
I belt it out. Okay? Canned
Okay.
Heat, I slap it. And then really random, but No Rain by Blind Melon. I also sing.
Are are these songs on karaoke machines? Hopefully.
Canned Heat has to
Okay.
be.
Okay, yeah, I guess yeah, no, you're right. The machine that we went to, I tried to date what was going on. So like I typed in Olivia Rodrigo, didn't
Mm.
appear. And I went, okay, so now I know where we are in the timeline.
Yeah, where we are.
But I did Little Nas X, and Lil Nas did appear, and I went, okay, now I know
Okay. Okay.
we're like in the beginning of COVID is when this machine
Yes.
knows. It
Yes.
hasn't been updated since. So everyone was like, wow, you really did the math to figure that out. And I was like, I do this every time. Like, what
That's
songs are
hilarious.
available? Yeah, it was a fun time though. I love karaoke. It's a great way to like just support your friends while singing. Get a private room if you're nervous and shy, because I love private rooms compared to
Yeah,
singing in public.
I absolutely would get a private room because like look, I will drunk sing with my friends.
Yeah, 100%.
I say that, but I fully and completely signed up to sing the backing vocals for Bring Me to Life for Mika at Creator Clash, which had hundreds of famous like YouTube people that I did not know that I was fully ready to sing in front of.
You did karaoke
No, I didn't get to do
technically.
it.
Oh, you didn't get to do it, but you signed up for it.
I signed up for it,
Okay,
yes.
you had like the spirit, the motivation, the
I do.
you
I was
had it.
ready.
You're ready. You're gonna get your moment. Just you wait. A
I
surprise
will.
karaoke moment. You're gonna be walking in the street and someone's gonna like,
Like hold the
"Hi,
microphone to me.
this is a life or death situation. We need you to sing one song fully. You need to know all the lyrics." And you're like, my time's here."
Yeah, here it is. All right.
Well, y'all, today's episode is not about karaoke or
It's
Halloween.
not. It is not. We have to do business stuff.
We have to do business
And
stuff, and
yes,
it's
and that business
great.
stuff is we're going to be talking about voting today and the importance of voting, how to register to vote in both the US and Canada.
Hmm.
Um,
I will say too, there's going to be a lot of voting conversations, and that's going to be a little stressful. So we
mhm,
do have time to talk about self care at the end of this as well.
mhm. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, let's we can start it off with just like why you should vote, doing your civic duties, which I feel like this is like such a point of contention with some people. It's like, oh, my vote doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And it does. Every single vote matters, every single one, because if you're like, oh, I don't need to vote, my vote doesn't matter. If you and then 300 other people that have the same like thoughts as you don't vote, then your thoughts and opinions are not heard and not reflected in the government, which, God, democracy exists so we can try to control it at least a little bit. Like, come on. So please always go vote. It is so, so important. Oh gosh. Oh, we have a poll that we can do in chat.
Yeah. Can we
Oh,
get a
lordy.
poll on whether or not
Mhm.
chat is ready to vote? Which is
Ready,
kind of funny
registered to vote.
because you're voting to
You're voting.
voting to vote. So like this is
No,
great.
it's great.
I would say yeah, no, it's definitely important, especially as a queer individual, because a lot of the decisions being made, a lot of the people that we're putting into power, we need to make sure they align with things that protect our rights, our health, our safety, our education, and our access to like resources. So
Hmm,
making
hmm.
sure you know that information is really important, but it can be a lot. I'll be honest, it can be a lot, but there's a couple of resources that we'll talk about today, a couple of things that we'll show you
Yes.
today that can help you get a better understanding on who to vote for, who aligns with like your morals, what you're looking for, and who's actually out there trying to protect us. So
Yeah, it's great.
I,
Also, there's only yeses in the vote so far. So that's great.
and if you're a no, it's okay to be a no, okay?
It's okay to
But
be a no because you can change that very
we will
easily.
literally change this for you today. So we have some really cool resources. We have actually a really cool website that I'll show later, that makes it so easy to learn what to do if you need to register to vote in a certain like state. And if, I have
Mhm.
a funny story about that one. Moving down here.
Oh, fun.
So I
Yeah.
Ashley, I have a question for you because like I feel like you know a lot about what's happening in the US in terms of voting, and like we'll talk about it in a little bit, but girl, what is Canada voting? What is voting like in Canada?
Voting in Canada is very strange.
Okay.
And something that a lot of people complain about because I feel like depending on what you vote for, like we have separate votes. This is really strange. We have a vote for like very like local like mayoral voting and things
Mm-hmm.
for each like city and stuff. But when it comes time to like vote for like our prime minister, we have something called the like first past the post system, which is I literally pulled up the Wikipedia because it is so I look, do I vote? Yes. Do I fully understand it? Not necessarily, cuz I've like every time I get it explained to me, I'm like cool and then it like leaves my head because it's so weird and I feel like it's almost by design to confuse people. I really
Yeah.
wish we could change it cuz I don't like it very much because when we vote for prime minister, we are not the when you go out to the voting stations, um you do not see the prime minister's name on the ballot. You see I'm pretty sure the provincial's name on the ballot, and you vote for that. And then if or like not maybe not provincial, like municipal, and then it goes into being like a certain area, and then there's like chunks of areas, and all those votes go count towards one vote for the prime minister. So whoever's the elected official from that party for prime minister gets elected based on having the most smaller groups voted for that party. So your prime minister and who you're actually voting for could have like not necessarily exactly the same ideals and views, but if you want the prime minister that you want, you vote you like it's very it I don't
I
like it.
that's confusing.
Yep.
Even like in the
Yes it
explanation,
is.
you did a great job explaining that, but even in the explanation, it's confusing where it's
No,
like,
yes. I'm very very sorry. It is very weird. Um and yeah, there's like it's a strange thing. And then there's like a majority, minority, and then there's like official opposition and all that shenanigans. However, I will say the first year I voted, I was a baby voter,
mm-hmm.
and I did not do my due diligence and look it up. So when I walked into the polls and I did not see, my due diligence was I was looking at our prime minister candidates. And so when I walked in and I looked at the ballot, I'm like, who are these people? I was so confused. So I was like, okay. And so after that, I'm like, all right, now I got to actually look up like all these people and like these sub people and what the heck am I voting for? And that was like, which is really sad that that's how I really kind of learned, because I feel like I didn't learn how our voting works in school well enough to retain it if I learned it at all. So, yes, our voting in Canada is strange. And it definitely depends on what like is going on. Like I feel like in Ontario we just had a I don't have the passage of time in my head very well, but semi recently we had a smaller like vote for like more municipal stuff. But yes, it's strange. So yeah, Blizz, you want to explain how U.S. voting works?
Would love to if I even knew how that worked. I literally, as I was looking up when all the important election dates in
Mm-hmm.
Texas between the years of 2023 and 2024, because it gets confusing.
Oh yeah.
Um, so the first time I actually, a fun little story for me, I moved from Maryland to Texas, and there's a lot in terms of registering to vote. Basically, so much stuff. Okay, so basically, when I got to Texas, Texas is really good at doing voter suppression. They
Mm-hmm.
will make you jump through a lot of hoops in order to vote or in order to be qualified to vote. And some of the suppression isn't legal. Some of the suppression is a weird tactic to confuse people, and then they get so confused that they don't want to vote. Uh, but basically, it's trying to get someone not to vote because you want your party to win. So it happens a lot on the Republican end of things. So um, just a little story before I explain how the U.S. works. I moved from Maryland to Texas, and I when I moved, it was like 1 week until we needed to vote for. It wasn't primaries; it might have been primaries, something like that. And looking on the website, I had to look through everything and make sure I was actually eligible to vote in the state of Texas, especially since I just moved there. Luckily for me, I ended up renting this place in the beginning of the month, and we moved in the middle. So we were already getting mail, we were already getting like legal documents, we had our lease and everything like that. And I get to the line, and it's like a long line, everyone's wanting to vote. I get to the table and I show my ID. It's a Maryland flag. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, you can't vote with this ID." And I go, "Well, actually," I hate it to be that guy. "Well, actually, if I have this ID and it's out of state, I actually have to prove to you that I live in the state of Texas. So here are three like proofs of residency, and also here's my lease. Also, you're probably going to question if I am a U.S. resident because my legal name's different." And I'm like, "So here's my birth certificate, and also here's my social security card." And like the lady next to him was like, "What state are you from?" And I was like, "Maryland." She was like, "I am too. You knew exactly what you needed to do today." And I was like, "Oh no, 100%. I was not going, like, I'm here to vote. I'm not gonna like let anything stop me at this point." And she's like, "I respect that." So like, yeah, I was ready and prepared, and I like educated
As you
myself.
should.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
feel like if it's framing that even remotely as being difficult is so frustrating to me, because it's like you're just trying to do the one thing that you can do and they're trying to stop you, and that's just
they're
ridiculous.
trying to stop me. And I was like, I'm here to vote. I'm going to vote. What was really nice too is that when I moved into the new state, my coworkers actually helped me too, being like, "Hey, by the way, make sure you're registered to vote. I know you move on this date, so make sure you're registered to vote before you come here." And I'm like, "You're so real. Oh my god, thank you." My first voting experience was amazing too. My mom went with me, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you out and like make sure you're good to register and all that stuff." But for this time around, my partner helped me because I'm so busy. My partner was like, "Hi, I know your morals and I know where you stand. Here are all the politicians that we need to be going for." And I was like, "Oh, okay, perfect. Oh my god, you did everything. This is super great." And they had like
Mhm.
found their resources and did the research for that. So how the U.S. votes?
Oh gosh, here we go. Yes.
I it's messy. It's
Mm.
honestly, it might be messier than Canada.
Okay. Well, isn't for one, isn't there just like they just And then put a candidate forward, even though people like don't like them, and they're like, "Well, tough luck."
Yeah, they do. They put a candidate forward. Like if we're voting for like the president, there's usually each party. There's a group of people in each party, and then you vote on the group of people in each party to until you
Yes.
get down to like one. So I'm trying to get like a good example for that one. I can't even think of a good example. But like when Hillary Clinton was going against someone else in the Democratic Party, and then you had someone else, this whole round table for the Republican Party. But you also have like the smaller parties too. They're
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
third
say like
parties.
we on our ballots, because I feel like when you guys vote, you only have the two, right?
When you vote, you can vote the third. The third party candidates are still there when you're voting.
Okay.
But like for the most part, I haven't seen in history, we have never had a president who was a third party. And
Well,
sometimes the
I'm
third party
trying to.
stuff gets a little weird.
Yeah.
It gets a little, yeah, it gets a little weird. But when I registered to vote, I had to put if I was a Democrat or Republican or third party. And I know in college a lot of people just put third party because like they're like,
Mm.
I don't know. I'm figuring this out. The world is new to us. We just turned 18 and we were told that we have to make decisions for ourselves. So, um, we ended up, or personally for me, when I vote, like I went Democratic, but I usually go with whoever is lining up with like my rights and everything like that. It doesn't really matter. Just because you have Democrat on your voter's card doesn't mean that you necessarily have to vote everything Democratic.
Yeah,
Um,
that's also weird. Just
yes, I
signing
just
up to be.
I,
That's strange.
yeah, I get my like voter cards every year or something, and I'm like, cool, it's a little card. I don't carry it with me because it should be in the system because the government. But then we get to the part where it is just like two candidates left, where it's someone of the Republican Party, someone of the Democratic Party, and then they don't really include the third party in this one. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. So usually people have to just kind of pick between the lesser evils. To be completely honest, the lesser evils. Um, and then the you go in to do that final vote. A lot of the times, I'm a
Mm.
person. You can do early voting. I don't know if you can do early voting in Canada.
Yes,
Okay,
you
cool.
can like mail in votes and do early voting
Yeah, you could
sometimes.
do
Yes.
mail-in voting. You can do early voting. A couple years ago, mailing voting got a little weird. Actually, yeah, a couple years ago, it did get a little bit weird because people were saying that people were using dead people's names to vote for the Democratic Party. It
Mm.
got super rumors and everything. It's also a part of like voter suppression, and that's where you get the chance stop the count and stuff like that because people were a little bit confused or a little bit trying to scare people into thinking that the Democratic Party was throwing in extra votes from somewhere. When it was like, no, people are just voting for this person.
Yeah,
Um,
that's like that is a thing I heard a lot
it's like voter
from like
fraud, I think it's
recent US
called.
elections is that people are like calling mail-in votes like fake. But it's like, babe, you could have done the same thing, honey. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Republican Party also did the same thing. Like they did that. So I'm just like, okay, cool.
Goofy.
You can't throw like a stone in a glass house, I think was the term. So probably both parties did that. I don't know. I don't have the facts for it. But then it comes to like other things like if you want to vote for your district or a representative for your district of where you live. I did that for I don't know if I did that for Travis County, for Austin of where we live. But we usually what you do is it's kind of the same thing, but there isn't like as big of a media presence type of thing. So like you
Hmm.
don't go to a state there isn't a stage of them debating back and forth. At least it's not televised as big as it was for the Democratic and Republican Party, but then you choose
Yeah.
representatives for your basically for your county, for your city. You could do it for the mayor. It just depends. There's so many dates and so many times to vote. And I'll be honest, it feels like they do it at the worst time possible or the worst dates possible or in the middle of the week knowing people have to work. but
Yeah.
what
And then
jobs
they won't give
normally
days off.
yeah, what jobs normally do or what they should do, at least my job when I was back in Maryland in the government, you had time to take off to go vote because they wanted you to go vote. But I don't know if they do that anymore. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things that like I'm mentioning that just kind of seem like voter suppression by
Yes.
globally, or not globally, by the US standards, because it's like we're not going to let you vote, we're not going to let you do this because capitalism, or making excuses so you don't have your democratic right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. US is a little messy and a little weird. But like Canada
Yeah.
is too, but like we all have, no place is
There's
perfect
always
right now.
something. It can't be
And there's
easy, right?
always something.
Yeah. I feel like for Canada, at least like in like the area of Ontario that I'm in, we're actually way more popular with like a third. We have like a bunch of political parties, just like as everybody does.
Hmm.
But our big three are like liberal conservative because we're just called liberals and conservatives up here. Like
Oh,
Republicans and Democrats are like, yeah, whatever, and they're the yeah. So we are literally the liberal party, the conservative
wait.
party.
Okay, because well, that makes sense because it's like because there's conservative liberals and like also, or sorry, conservative Democrats, and then also like liberal Democrats versus liberal Republicans and conservative Republicans. So that's yeah. I
Yeah.
would, I guess you wouldn't be placed on your party because y'all don't have the party system.
Like we do have parties. So we have liberals, conservatives, and then there's another the third one that's big, at least around me, is NDP.
Oh,
Um
sorry, you don't have the two party system because I think that's what the U.S. is like big on.
yeah, you guys have like the two-party system, which is the big thing. We don't. We have a bunch, and a lot of places elect NDP, especially around me.
Hmm.
That's usually our third place for like running for shop. Uh, the shop being, PM.
Okay.
But yeah, I also looked up better to get like the actual like terms for it. It's apparently called the plurality voting system, and we
Oh.
vote for our local member of parliament, our MP, who represents one specific constituency in the House of Commons, and then the political party that has the most MPs in the House of Commons is the like gets to elect their prime minister.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's cool. That's cool. Um
I wish I could elect them separately. That's just all I'm saying. I
yeah.
hate that they have to be tied together, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
whatever.
weird. It's weird that they're doing a like a
It's
joint
very
thing.
weird, yes. But yeah, when I found out that that's how it worked, it was very strange. So yeah, I walked out when I was voting for the first time, just saw a bunch of MPs, and I'm like, good for you. Who are you?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is for presidency too, with vice presidents in a sense, because the vice president is tied to the president, so you don't get to pick the vice president.
Hmm.
You get to pick the president along with the vice president. So like if you like someone else as a candidate for VP, but they're connected to the president, they're not connected to the
Uh,
president that you like, then you're screwed at that
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You pray and you hope.
Hmm.
You pray and you
Well,
hope.
you were talking about things being televised more, and I feel like our debates with prime ministers is highly more televised than like MPs talking because A, there's a way more of them.
Hmm.
And it's also just like sometimes harder to get information on, which makes it kind of hard to be educated to vote because it's just harder to find some things depending on where you look. Um, but yeah, I feel like it's that I was confused because I watched debates from like the prime minister candidates. Like, and I was like, hell yeah, all right, I know who I'm gonna vote for. And then I couldn't vote for them, even though like I ended up voting for them because usually like roughly the same. But like when I like when I vote, I usually vote like NDP because they have the most like in common with me. But then it's just like I'm not voting for like the liberals or whatever because
Yeah.
even though like they're like they get the prime minister, but then it usually ends up like, oh yeah, we get an MP that's NDP, and I'm like, I guess yeah, I voted for you, so hooray. But it's just like I feel like it doesn't make any sense that it's like tied so weird. But yeah, Canada voting. Voting is fun. Oh,
Yeah.
should we try to like hold on? While we were talking about voter suppression and stuff, should we talk a little bit about how to like avoid voter suppression? Because I know that the one thing that I've always been told, even though like I'm sure voter suppression is obviously a thing in Canada. I feel like it's voter suppression is a thing kind of everywhere, but I feel like I haven't seen it as much here as I have heard about it in the States.
Hmm.
Um I do know, however, that like once you're in line, even if the polls close, if you're in line, stay in line. They
Hmm.
have to let you vote.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. That also is something that I have a story for
Oh
because I
God.
know. So because of the US, a lot of the times the whole capitalism thing and like you won't get days off to vote or anything like that.
Mm.
Um, a lot of the people who end up having or wanting to vote will have to vote at 5 p.m. when that's like the universal day's over, or work shift is over. Some people a little bit later, like 7 or anything like that. I was someone who got off at 7. I was in line. The line was super long at the school, and I'm just staying there. And it hits 8 where the polls close, and there are people who are like, "Oh, polls are closed, so you can't go." And like, if I didn't know my rights, I would have left. But I'm just like, no, that's not how this works. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
line. I can
No.
stay in line and vote. Like, people will stay. Like, people have stayed until like 10 p.m., 12 a.m. just to vote. And so that is one way. Just, hey, by the way, they will try to suppress you by saying that you can't be in line when you have been there at 7 and the polls close at 8 and you're still waiting.
Yeah, you can be there. Also, I feel like I don't know how many places, like, do you have a lot of places that open up to vote near you?
Yes, kind of. I don't know. Well, it depends on what you mean by a lot.
So I feel like when I was a kid, I feel like a lot of churches, which there are a lot of, and a
Mhm.
lot of schools, like, let you vote in them. Like, that's where they set up stuff. Like, my first like introduction to politics at all was when my elementary school's library turned into like a voting station. Where like I
Yeah.
showed up to school one day and there's these giant yellow signs. They're like, vote here. And I'm like, what?
Isn't that so wild though? Because we're supposed to separate church and state, but we have like polling in churches.
See, I feel like yeah, that is very strange,
It's
but
like,
it's also like that's where I usually end up voting because there's so many churches everywhere, and I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, that's closest to me. Let's go. And it's just like I feel like no, I just realized that the last two places I voted have been churches.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's like you should probably separate religion from your
Yeah,
stuff, but like I don't know. I'm not the government, so I
just
don't know.
using the space.
I'm just, yeah, using the space. A lot of the times I go to either a school or a community center because I usually do community center stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the memory. Do you remember on social media when Katy Perry took a picture of her voter of who she was voting for? Which that is
Yes,
something you're not allowed to do.
not allowed to do.
No one that, which is also a thing that you should definitely be looking out for. You don't have to tell people who you're voting for. Like that's not a law. Like you don't have to be like,
No.
when someone comes up to you and goes, "Who are you voting for?" while you're in line, you don't have to say who you're voting for.
Yeah.
Or if anyone in the booth working the like registration or anything says, "Okay, who are you voting for today?" or something like that, you don't have to say anything like that. Like your
No.
vote is your vote and that is your privacy.
That's so. I've never been asked who I was voting for.
Oh, I've also had that. What? Ashley, I know it's
What
weird.
is
I don't
happening?
know. Also, make sure you get your I voted sticker at the end. That is crucial.
Yeah, crucial. Make your social media post,
And
get
then
your
make your
friends to
social
vote, and get
video.
their stickers.
That is a requirement now. And you know, I'm saying it. The
Yeah,
requirement is getting the sticker and then posting a picture of you with the sticker saying I voted. Okay, that is a requirement. Everything
that's one
else,
thing I
you're
didn't get. I don't get. I think I know you can, but everywhere I go, they don't have the stickers, and it hurts my feelings. Or I
and
just, maybe just didn't see them.
I know
I've
you don't
never
get the
gotten a
stickers
vote.
if you at least I don't mail. I don't do mailing votes. I usually do in-person votes. But
Yeah,
I
me
know
too.
you don't get a sticker when you mail. So,
No.
which sucks. They should like send you a
Hmm.
sticker as you're
Yeah,
voting.
they should. Yeah, like, hey, you have my return address. You have my address. Send me a sticker. Dang it.
But yeah, send me the sticker. But yeah, definitely do that. I don't know if there's any other suppressing things that we haven't talked about.
No, I know that like I've seen people like
What
just
have
have
you
like their
heard?
whole like voting booths like just moved and taken away. Just like voting areas.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like just like I've heard like I think maybe it was the last election I saw like whole like areas just get like shut down where they like started to just not open up polling stations very like frequently and they would have like 3 for like a whole city and then would like close down some and yeah. And
Yeah,
just like having them there be less places to vote just makes it way harder for people to get there, especially like on time, right?
yeah. It's you know why? I just also realized, do you know why maybe I might be a target for suppression?
I was gonna say I am am a white woman.
Yeah, well, not even that. My mom's a like voting judge. Like she's a registration voting judge.
Oh,
Yeah, which is super weird. She's one of the people in the registration booths, like making sure that her entire team is being unbiased, and also like that they're getting everyone's ballots out and that they're counting and all stuff like that. I completely forgot that that might be a reason. Who knows? But who knows? She's a voting
yeah.
judge, and she's been one
Oh,
for like 6 years. My brain just went, wait, this definitely makes sense. Oh my god.
mm,
It's a cool, yeah,
maybe.
it's definitely a cool thing. She's very like passionate about making sure that uh our rights are there, and also that people are going out to vote and making a difference in this world, cuz again, just if you are one person saying, "Oh, I don't need to vote, like my vote doesn't matter," you are also not the only one who is thinking that, and a bunch of people thinking that can really skew the vote into a direction you do not want it to go whatsoever. So like please, please, please vote if you can. Oh my god. I feel like we had like a couple questions too that we needed to mention.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at stuff because
Wait, what
now I'm
happened?
like really doing some hard research.
Yeah.
And apparently you're supposed to be given 3 consecutive hours to cast your vote on election day. And if they aren't going to allow that, they have to give you time off. And I'm like, that's
Yeah,
very
no,
strange.
I didn't well, like with my job now, I just
Mm-hmm.
literally like typed in Slack, "I'm gonna go vote," or "I'm coming in late cuz I'm voting." And they're like, "Cool." But like
Cool.
in
Yeah.
previous jobs, I'm pretty sure like when I used to work at Cracker Barrel and I was 18, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't give me time to vote. The Department of Defense gave me time to vote, but there are some places that do not let you, or maybe they're lying to you. I don't know. I was young and impressionable, so
This is another thing that's different from the US and Canada, I believe.
mhm.
Um, People in prison aren't allowed to vote in the
No.
States. They are allowed to vote in Canada.
Yeah, so that's wild. I totally forgot
That's
about that one.
I feel like that is the biggest voter suppression right there. That is obscene.
Yeah, if you go to jail, you lose your rights. Is basically the tea there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because now I'm literally going Elections Canada or elections.ca rather is basically Elections Canada. And you like go through and it's like got facts, right? Like FAQs. And I'm looking and it's like, I'm serving a prison sentence in Canada. Can I vote? It's like, yes, as long as you're a Canadian citizen and will be at least 18 years old on election day, you can vote.
yeah, you
Like,
can
oh,
if which is a lot of like a really weird because a lot of people in the jailing system, I guess, they're not educated on what's happening in the real world, even though they kind of are because they're taking time to research and study if they're that interested in voting, so like giving them
mhm.
the opportunity to do so. They're still citizens of the United States, um but apparently when you go to jail you lose your citizenship or your rights. I don't know
Yeah,
how that
that
works. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's definitely a wild thing because there's like a lot of people in jail, and a lot of people in jail for things like marijuana that goes to jail for 5 years because of that, even though it's legal in states now. So it like doesn't really make
yeah.
sense. So like I think the issue is that they're afraid that they're going to want to change the law to, I don't know, get themselves out or something. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense.
It does not. Sorry, I get like so many. I feel like look, I should literally just link this in chat. I actually don't know if I'm allowed to. But like this whole FAQ on voting page for Elections Canada, I should be like, look, everybody, just go look. If you are confused, it gives you so much information. It's great about like advanced polls, special ballots. Um, yeah, that's so spicy and spicy in a good way. I
Spicy in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like just reading this and talking about this, I didn't realize how blessed we were here compared to the States.
Yeah, there's cool things that y'all have. I think your system is still a little bit weird too, a little
Oh,
bit
it's
messy,
definitely weird. I
but
just mean
like
like
there's like a
the
couple of good things.
accessibility of voting.
Oh yeah, well, America, like the U.S. hates accessibility. That's why I get so happy when simple things have accessibility, like video games. I go, yay!
Yay!
There's
Yes.
accessibility here. So no, it's definitely there's definitely like good things and bad things for both, obviously.
Hmm.
But important, or it's definitely important to vote. But what if you're someone who doesn't or isn't of age to vote? So for us, it's 18. I think it's 18 for you as well. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be 18 years old to vote, which is also a wild thing. I hate when you turn 18, you're like an adult, right? But you literally spent like a month ago raising your hand to go use the bathroom, and now you're
Yeah.
supposed
Oh
to
my.
make decisions for
I have
yourself,
never
and it's
been more
wild.
stressed. Okay. So this is something that I hate that I did, but I turned 18, and when I turned 18, there was an election. But nobody had educated me on anything.
Hmm.
So I was literally like, my friend's mom was like, "Are you gonna go vote?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Why not? You have to." And I'm like, "I have not been taught a single thing.
No
I'm
one's
like, I'm
prepared me.
freshly 18. Nobody's taught me about how this works. Nobody's tried to like educate me. I'm still in high school. I don't know what's happening."
It's like, oh, and they're like, oh, well, didn't you learn this in school and stuff like that? It's like, yes, kind of, but not to
No.
what you think it is. Like, I didn't halfway through my like college or halfway through my high school career, they started realizing that our kids didn't even know how to write checks. So they made a class on how to like manage your
Oh my
bank
god.
account and stuff. And it was too late for me to I was a senior. I was already taking other classes. I wasn't going to take that. So I was like, "Oh my god." And they made it a requirement too for students to graduate if you just came into the school. And I'm like, "You set us up for failure at this point."
Yeah,
So
what? That's goofy.
but I have a TikTok for us. If you are
Yes. Okay.
someone who is unable to vote due to age, we have a TikTok that will give you some information on how to pre-register to vote. And I'm
Mhm.
going to play that TikTok now.
Too young to vote? In 17 states, you're actually allowed to pre register to vote when you're only 16, including
Mm.
my state of Florida. And in 10 more states, you can pre register as long as you're 17. Some states even let you vote in their primary elections as long as you're 17 too. You can use this database at
Hmm.
headcount.org to look up what your
Okay.
own state's regulations are to see if you can pre register. So even if you're not 18 yet and can't officially vote, you might still be able to get prepared by making sure you're registered ahead of your 18th birthday. And that way you'll be set to vote for candidates that support your LGBTQ plus rights.
Oh my god.
Look, that's like so important too, because how I cannot stress how stressed I was when I had an election coming up, and I was, because this is another thing where the education system had failed me, and it's like, oh no, you have to register. I'm like, what do you mean I have to register to vote? And so then I was like scrambling, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to register to vote. Like I'm a citizen. You know where I live. Why am I not registered already?
Yeah,
Which
I
is
have
weird.
it's you have to register to vote, and then in the US I think you also have to like sign up for a draft or something. So much. I don't know.
What?
Like it's illegal to like not sign up for the draft. I might be making this up, but I'm pretty sure it's true.
You have to. There's no way.
Yeah,
Like the
I mean,
draft, like
there's
not the like the draft.
no
Like
like the draft. I'm pretty sure you have to when you are of age sign up for a draft. I could be wrong, or maybe I just like signed up for something and now I'm
did you
concerned.
sign up for a draft? Oh my god. Please don't.
Do you have to sign up for the
Um.
draft? Almost
Okay.
all men who are 18 and 25 years old and live in the U.S. must register for selective service. Oh yeah, you have to be a man too. Yeah, sorry, it's completely like gin locked.
How? Why is no one talking about this? That's
Yeah, it's illegal if you don't.
ah.
So that's a side note. That's something else.
That's a side note, but that's something that I feel like we need to so people need to discuss this more.
No, it's just not discussed. I don't know.
Oh my
I'm
god. Okay.
yeah. I'm
Damn. I've
27
never heard that
now,
before.
and like there's certain things too that you can't like if I were ever to be selected, there's certain things that you have to get approved or certain things that you can't be in order to serve. And one
Mhm.
thing is being flat-footed, and I am flat-footed. I have not changed my shoes whatsoever. And they're like, oh, we can get shoes to stop being flat foot. Nope. I
No,
am
I
flat
need
footed.
this. I need these flat feet.
I am
I
flat
need
footed.
these.
And
Need these
mentally
flat
ill,
foot
but
feet.
like those are different things. So
My goodness.
we have a second TikTok though. We do have a second
Oh yeah,
TikTok.
before we do that, I just want
Yes.
to let everyone know. At least in Ontario, you can pre-register to vote when you're 16 or 17.
I
In
think
Ontario. I don't know about the rest of the provinces, but at least in Ontario, you can pre-register at 16 or 17.
in
as well.
Maryland, I gotta double check, but I think in Maryland you can pre-register because I might have pre-registered. But I don't know. Let me see. But we do have a second
Next one.
TikTok. We do have a second TikTok where it is coming from a previous ambassador and vodcast guest from earlier this
Yes.
season, Huffle. If y'all remember Huffle, we had Huffle on for the education episode that we did. I think it was like episode 2,
3?
3. This is episode 8, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. I think I was the one running it, so I think it would have been an odd number. I believe.
3.
I'm not
Yes.
I think it was 3.
But yeah, talking about the importance of voting in local elections and how they impact your day to day. So let us watch this TikTok right now.
As a trans educator, I know that local elections have a huge impact on the queer community. Local officials make decisions that affect your daily life, everything from what's allowed at local parks to school bathroom policies, city council, mayors, school referendums, school boards, ballot initiatives. These races are the least likely for people to cast a vote, which means that you can have even more of an impact. They're not big or flashy or well publicized, but they are the ones that affect the day-to-day lives of the people around you. Get informed. Head to usa.gov/election-office, find your state, and find your ballot. So educate yourself, dig into these, get informed, and make a difference.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was talking about, where it's like it's not heavily televised, so like people do not know.
Yeah.
They don't know what they need to do and like where the information is because it's all local, but like those are the ones that's really going to affect the folks living around you like right now. So not saying like the bigger ones aren't important as well. No, like all of it's important.
Yeah, it is. Like obviously, yeah, everything is more, but yeah, local elections they are the ones who like those are the ones that you'll see the effects of every day. And are going to be a bigger part of your everyday life. And a lot of the stuff that like people complain about on a day-to-day basis when you're just booning around the city or whatever is like the stuff that you can influence the outcomes of with like local voting.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a little bit difficult, and I'll be honest, it's super hard to figure out who I need to vote for, when I need to vote. Heck, even like registering to vote was a little bit difficult for me because I didn't know what I needed to do. So chat, if you remember earlier, we talked about we had resources that would definitely help you. And I think like the link's going to be put in chat, but it is, I'm gonna make sure it's usa.gov, the state election office. And we're actually going to go through it a little bit. But I'm going to show y'all how you can learn more about local upcoming elections, and we're gonna do it for Texas. Let's do it for Texas since I'm in Texas.
Sweet.
Okay, so this is what the website looks like. It is usa.gov/election office, and so what you're going to do is pick your state or go to find my state or local election office. I'm gonna do it through state, and I'm going to go to Texas. And let's see everything that I have. Okay. So we have upcoming statewide elections.
Which
right
I love
here.
that they have that. That's so great.
So November 7th, we got constitutional amendment elections, and then also special election for House District 2. And then primary elections are actually on my birthday, which I had no idea. So that's great.
Happy birthday!
Hey, you know what I'm doing for my birthday? I'm voting. So
Hey, you can mail in vote early.
Yeah, I can do early voting. The early voting for us too is literally we go to like the schools as well, but it doesn't count as an election day.
I think
Do you get
I
time
read that
off
we
for
have
it?
them on the 10th, the 9th, the 8th, and then I think the 10th, 9th, 8th, and 7th
Oh, it's
days,
a 3-day
like
thing?
before. I think we have multiple, like a chunk of days that are like the early voting days, and then there's like a week, and then there's like the actual day.
I'm pretty sure for us it was like there's one day. That's early. And like that's it. That's it for
I
you.
think we have multiple, but let me double check. Please keep going through the website.
Mm.
I'm gonna look up Canadian stuff.
Yeah, and you get things like voters, who are the candidates, election officials, what's the voting technology, and then what the results are. Let's go through candidates real quick. You get to see all of current election information, poll watchers guides, political party information for the Republican Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian, and Green Party. Important dates. What I was going through earlier, if y'all remember, I was like, yeah, I was going through all the important dates of 2023 through 2024 election dates for Texas. This is actually what I was going through and trying to see, like, where's everything? Okay, November is coming up. Like, there's things happening soon. But that's just a couple of. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Voters, vote. Are you registered to vote? Am I registered? What your voter ID is? I have no idea who this lady is. Um, Election results, how to track your ballot, how to become like a poll worker if you want to. That my mom did that for Maryland. She became a poll worker and now she's a voting judge. But yeah, it's just simple things like that. When vote, it lets you know when voting is happening. You have the last day to register to vote, mail-in application deadlines, early voting, all that stuff. So early voting actually happened last month on the 23rd. So this is the website. It's a really good website. It's usa.gov/election-office. You can put in, again, any state. I'm going to go through another state real quick. Let's go through. Pick a state, Ashley.
Pick a state.
Pick any state.
Ohio. I don't know why Ohio is.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. Ooh, they came up with a pop-up message saying, "Hey, you want to be a poll worker?" Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want you to work. Yeah, you can find early voting locations, your voting schedule, what it looks like. Look up your own voter registration, what the requirements are, which is a really big thing. Ohio is not real, said aggressive Fred. That's fair. ID requirements, that's a big one. If you remember my story earlier, I ran into issues with, I had a Maryland ID in Texas, and they're like, you cannot vote. And I said, actually, having this information of the ID requirements is really huge. So making sure you're prepared to vote and making sure that you can vote is very important. So know what you need. But yeah, that's basically what the website looks like. It's really cool.
Sweet. Also, I have some more Canadian-based things.
Ooh, okay.
So to just jog my memory, because looking at Texas, I was looking through Texas with you on my own, and I was seeing that there's like a last day to register to vote, and it's like a whole month before the election. In Canada, you can bring your ID to the polling station and register right before you vote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a weird thing in Texas. At least this is like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
because I feel like I panicked because I thought I had to. You can only register like at like different offices like until like the Tuesday before or whatever, but then you can just bring your ID with you to still vote.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I registered in person.
Yeah.
But I had to do it through the early voting, so I'm not sure. Also, I think
Okay.
this is a fun joke, and I don't know if you know it, but what's high in the middle and round on both ends?
What?
Ohio.
Nice.
It's round on the ends, has HI in the middle. That's one of my favorite jokes for Ohio. But yeah, I'm pretty sure when I went into early voting, I got to register on the spot. But that was 2014. So anything can happen within the 10 years of what has happened. There's probably, and the internet is like more powerful these days, so they probably ask people to register online.
Yes.
But
like I was just gonna say, for Canada, you just like doesn't matter which like province you're in. I almost said state because they're so US centric.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which province you're in. You can literally just go to like Elections Canada and you can just like how to register, and then it'll take you, and then you can go through. I literally did this the other night because I just moved, and I'm like, oh, I have to update my voter information. So I went and did all that. So And it's super
Jazz,
duper easy. You have like a couple questions to answer. You have to
yeah,
confirm your
address and stuff like
like
that.
address and okay, there you go. You're registered to vote. Cool.
Yeah, as long as for us, as long as you have your social security number, address, and like birthday, and then ID to show that you are actually you, it's totally fine. Jazz does say certain states allow day of registration. A lot of states do not. So
That is strange.
yeah, maybe
I'm
Maryland
looking
was
on
on
Elections Canada, so this should literally cover the entire country.
that.
So, um, it should be everywhere in Canada you can register day of, unless for some reason something's different, but that's not saying there's anything different. But yeah, I want to see. Hold on, I need to get the resource center for just Canada so I can try to voting.
I've learned so much about Canada today. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Heck yeah! All right, here I'm gonna send it. Hold on, I'm gonna send it here. I'm so sorry. I have sent the proper link now. Not in chat, because I don't think I can post it because it might get removed.
Yeah,
But
no.
I have sent it to be posted. But yeah, that's just an FAQ on registration, and you can also go and look at from there voter information. There's a bunch of links. They're super quick that you can click on and go through.
I need
And
I
yeah.
need the website to have a little bit more color.
Yeah, it's so boring. I'll be real.
It's
There's
muted.
also there's this for FAQs of electors. So actually, this is probably a better link because it's just like has a bunch of sub ones of like electors are
Oh,
us,
okay.
by the way. And it's like, yeah, jobs, identification, registration, voting, elections, Elections Canada, members of parliament, political entities, and third parties, everything that you need. It's a lot, but
Yeah,
it's kind of cool that it's all in one spot.
it's a lot, and definitely you might need to, after consuming so much information, jump into some self-care. Y'all, we've been talking about voting a lot, and that can be a very
Yes.
stressful thing, and or draining thing, because it can be a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
to focus on like what's happening in the world and the fire that's constantly burning.
Yes.
And also the negativity that sometimes impacts the queer community, or queer folks. So we're gonna kind of do a 180 real quick and start talking about some self-care. So Ashley,
Hmm.
what does self-care look like to you?
Honestly, self care for me, a lot of the time, is just like making sure I make time for myself. Um, and just like make time to do things that I love, to put my mental energy towards something that makes me happy. So like I like to just sit and just kind of just shut everything out for a little bit and just like play some games to just like bring me down back to like center before, going to do more things. And educating myself on things and whatever. But I feel like, yeah, self care usually for me is like sometimes just taking a bath. Anything that just gives me time for me to just focus on myself, just check in with myself, kind of, because I feel like you can get so distracted looking at so many things or like exhausted that, like, if you have time to just sit and be like, okay, what's going on in my head? What do I need right now? What does my body need? Like, make sure you like hydrate, eat food, just like check in and see if you need anything. And that's kind of my main forms of self care. What about you, Blizz?
Self-care, I have this issue where I like just forget to breathe,
Mm,
mentally and emotionally. So like self-care for me is taking time to sit down, process my day, process my week, and then also like
yes.
reminding myself to breathe. So sometimes I do breathing exercises where I go in for 4 through the nose and out for 7, to kind of like calm myself down a little bit. Um, but also like you and I, we play video games a lot for stream. So a lot of the times for self-care is playing a game that is not content for streaming, like something
Yes,
that's
yes,
just for
exactly.
me. So like a lot of the times I'll end up playing like Valorant and like just gaming with my partner or gaming with like a couple of my like mods or my friends and just existing for a bit without having to turn things into content type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I work in a lot of content, or I work as a content creator for my job and then also as a content creator on Twitch, it is everything is like content, content, content. So having a moment where it's not that is just self-care for me. I'm also, my therapist asked me the other day, so like what makes you happy? And I was like, Okay. Um
Wow.
wow, we're starting off like strong. But I was
Cool.
like, what makes me happy? I enjoy traveling. I enjoy visiting new places and creating new experiences and memories with like the people I care about or just with myself. Um, I a lot of times I when I feel like a burnout's coming, I'll take a vacation and I will go explore new places or go on a hike or anything like that. Even though I have horror stories every time I go on a hike, it's just the worst time ever. My Uber dropped me off 2 miles away from where I was supposed to get dropped off to go hiking, and then it was in a park, and the park closed in an hour, so I had to run this trail back to the start. It was a whole thing. I enjoy hiking though.
Oh my God. Huh?
But yeah, self care for me is literally just that. It is taking time to myself and creating memories or just existing for a moment to process.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
Fair.
what is like something that you can, or what is a piece of advice that you would give to someone who doesn't, who needs self care?
Oh God.
Like how would you like notice how do you tell someone to like keep an eye out for burnout? Like what is burnout and how can they prevent it and stuff like that? That's the question. There we go. Sorry.
I feel like I do it to a lot of my friends sometimes, but it usually ends up like you can. I have found, now this sounds bad. I found that it's really hard to be gentle with people because they won't listen to you.
Mhm.
And so I yell at people
Oh
to
yeah, same.
just sit down, shut up, and take a break and stop working. Like that is all I have. Like literally, it's like, wow, you're really working a lot, huh? It's like, hey, wow, maybe you should like calm down a little bit. And then usually
Oh.
I'm met with, yeah, I probably should, haha. And that's it. And then they keep working. I'm like, no, no, no. Now I have to be mean,
No, it's like
and I
no,
have to get
you need to
shut
take a
up.
break. Like
Yeah,
no.
no, no, no. I'm going to fist fight you with my bare hands. And so for me, I find at least in like maybe it's just the industry that we're in is like it's
Mhm.
so hard to get people to actually take breaks without being like tough love, you know?
Yeah, I mean we work in like a very grinding hustle
We do.
industry. So
The grind
it's
set,
the
baby.
grind set is the best. Blizz, you threatening. Oh, I basically told my coworker
Mm.
BK, who I enjoy. I say coworker a lot. We're friends. But we were at brunch on Sunday. She was like, I'm going through a lot and I just like kind of need a break. Is it cool if I like come in late on Monday or something like that? And I go, respectfully, if you know what's good for you, don't come to work tomorrow.
I will fight you
I was like,
if you come to
I'll
work.
be honest, don't call for work. I already texted someone else who can like take your spot. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, don't come to work. Take time for yourself because you don't. And so like I love you. Don't show up to work. I'll be pissed.
Like if I see you, it's on site. I will
Yeah, if
clothesline
I
you.
see you, we are fighting at this point, and you have started an argument. So do not do that with me. But yeah, I'm very yell or I'm very brutal about like people needing to take a break. I'm the same way with myself sometimes, but sometimes I don't notice it because I'm too tunnel focused or tunnel visioned. So other people will tell you, "Hey, bestie,
Yeah.
what if you took care of yourself?" And I'd be like, "What's that? What's that?"
Hmm.
But I'm really big on taking time for myself, and it sucks sometimes, especially as a content creator, because like taking
You
time
feel
to
guilty.
yourself, you feel guilty about it. And sometimes I do feel guilty, but I try my best to be as like transparent, being like, hey, I need to sleep, I haven't slept, or hey, I if I keep doing this I'm gonna get sick, I need to like take a second, or hey, it's been a lot, we've done a lot, you all take a break too, I'm gonna take a break and we'll see you
Yep.
on the other side type of thing. So it's it can easily cross, as Crochet saying, easily cross that line of unhealthiness, especially when it comes to like creating content or streaming.
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
For sure. Cause like it's like I love my job. I have fun doing my job, and it's sometimes hard to like see that I'm really getting burnt out until one day I'm like, I feel like my brain is dying.
I feel
Like
like death itself.
yeah, I
Help.
feel like I'm perishing just simply standing up here. So maybe I
It-
just shouldn't. Which is like going back to like you feeling guilty. It's like I'm literally going away this weekend. I don't stream on the weekends, but I do usually do other work. But the fact that I'm going away from work, I'm
You feel
already
bad about
like,
it.
I feel bad already, and I haven't even left.
Yeah. There's certain things I'll do for work or certain things that I'll do like personally that I need to do for myself. And I'm like, oh wait, but I'm not making content out of this. This is a oh, I feel bad because like I know someone would be like, oh, I want to see content of that. No, this is for me. It's okay for it to be for me.
Yeah.
So like having God, I feel that a lot. Where it's like I feel bad on the weekends. I had to cut out one of my days of streaming because I was doing a lot for work, and if I
Yeah.
continued to do that, I would burn myself out and create a healthy or unhealthy like mindset for myself and unhealthy like lifestyle for myself. So it's hard,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
but
proud of you for doing that though, because it's
thank
hard to
you.
do that.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's I would say it's really hard, but also really good if you are able to pinpoint what burnout looks to you. Because it's the same way I'm someone who deals with depression. I have moments where I've pinpointed what when I'm in a depressive episode, like what I can look out for, red flags to look out for if you're ever on
Yeah.
the state or on the urge of burning out, and like have like a plan for yourself and what to do if you ever get to that point. It can be short-term things, it can be long-term things. I would count vacation as a long-term thing. I would count maybe stepping away from the computer screen and cooking a meal for yourself and listening to music for an hour on your headphones as like
Yeah.
a short-term thing for yourself. So
Hmm.
having like a list of things that can help you, I don't want to say cope, but help you deal with the burnout is very important.
Yeah. I feel like it could literally be like a bunch of little things helps so much. And yeah, just like have a collection of things like like I said, like taking a bath or just playing a game for yourself, like we both do, which I feel like is one of the biggest things that content creators I feel like need to do, because I feel like this is a thing that I've talked about a lot with a lot of creators is we get into this because we like to play video games. We love playing video games,
Hmm.
and then it becomes our job, and then we don't do it as a hobby anymore. And it's like, 'cause it's like, do you play video games outside of stream? And for the longest time, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was
But
doing it
now
for
I
the
do
longest time.
again, and it's awesome because it's like I'm like playing a game that like right now I'm playing a game that I played all the time as a kid that I loved just because I'm like I want a little bit of like nostalgia. And it's like I remember this game being kind of tricky, but now I'm playing it as again as like an almost 30-year-old, and my brain is working better, and I'm like, this is so much more fun because I understand all these mechanics.
That's literally how I feel with the Ratchet and Clank series, where I'm just like, I played this a
I
lot as like a kid. So like now that I'm going back into it, oh, this feels so good. I'm so happy right now. So
I love I love the humor in those games. Those are
it's so
games that
good.
I go back to a lot because they're really good. Those, I think the first two Ratchet and Clank games, I never really played the third one, and Jack and Daxter and the Precursor
Oh, that's so
Legacy.
good. Jack 2 changed my life.
Oh my god,
Turning
really?
turning evil
Wild.
changed my life. I think that was my villain. That was my villain era. Turning to
That's fair.
shadow form me.
That's
Um
fair, yeah.
I'm gonna do something really embarrassing. I'm so sorry. It's not really embarrassing. I need to use a tissue real quick.
That's okay. Oh my god. Look, I'll just talk more about nostalgic games. I also love to go back to like the Spyro games.
Spyro's really good. Spyro's really good.
Yeah.
We should literally just do an episode where we talk about content creation, being a queer content creator in general, and then also like the games that we enjoy playing every time.
That would be
Uh,
really fun.
that'd
I
be
feel
a
like I
fun
would love
episode.
that. I'll just have a list made up.
Have a
Like,
tier
here it
list
is.
of games. Like this is
Yes.
my tier list of games. You would be upset with my tier list. I actually do have a tier list of games. Um,
Oh. Oh no.
I
I feel
haven't.
like you know that website where you could like pick like your top 20 games in no particular order or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's like a bunch of them. I feel like we should come with those like to present them and be like, this is what I have.
Chat would be so angry with me. That's the thing.
Why
Chat
would
would
they
be
be angry with you? I'm scared.
because there's certain things, well, there's like certain games I haven't had the chance to experience. I did not like Mass Effect, which throws people off a lot of times when I say that because it just wasn't my thing, and they're like, "What?"
I stopped playing Mass Effect because I just didn't really vibe with like the gameplay because it was like old, and they're like, oh well, you should play like the remaster or the remake or whatever, and I'm like, one day I'll get
Yeah, one
around to
day,
it.
but like it didn't pull my interest.
No, me neither.
Same with Silent Hill though. Sadly,
What, the second one?
No, Silent Hill just never got me into it. Like I never got into a Silent Hill.
Oh, you just never
Wow.
played them.
I've never played it because I'm kind of afraid. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe I'm afraid
That's
to
fair.
see. It's a different mechanic type of thing, so I have to learn the whole new mechanic. Because I told you recently, like I played a game that was very similar to Resident Evil, but it was just puppets.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this mechanic is different, but I'm kind of liking it because it's here and there. Now I'm thinking about getting into Resident Evil.
See, Resident Evil, to me, the mechanics of Resident Evil are harder than Silent Hill.
Really? Okay.
There's no inventory management in like the early Silent Hill games. You
Oh
just
my
collect
God.
everything you see and it doesn't matter.
Oh my God, that's so great. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's why I went from Silent Hill to Resident Evil, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't pick up every healing item I see? What is this?
Yeah,
I have
you
an
have to
inventory to
you have to
manage?
play
I have to,
Tetris.
yeah, I have to Tetris? Get out of here. I'm a loot goblin. I literally grab everything. There's like stats at the end of Silent Hill games about which items, if you've picked up all the items in the game. Like you get like a stat screen at the end and it gives you stars, and then it's like how many items you picked up versus how many there are. And I'm always only missing like 10 out of like 150.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I get everything, baby.
That is very impressive. Oh my God.
Thank you.
I've never like 100%. No, that's a lie. I've 100%ed one game and it was a card game. Called
100%ed
Stacklands.
many of them.
It's
I've
like,
100. Wait, you'll be impressed. I've 100%ed the first two Ratchet and Clank games.
oh my God, that's so impressive. Oh my God. Okay, gamer.
If there's a collectathon, I will. There's some things that drove me absolutely banana bonkers playing them because there's some things that are really hard or really weird.
Yeah.
Like the racing games sometimes.
Yes.
In the second one.
Oh wait, those are fun. Oh,
They're really
now
fun,
I really
but
just
when
want to
you're
go back.
100%ing them, they're a little tricky.
Actually, now I want to go back. Self-care is
Do
talking
it.
about the nostalgia of video games. That's my self-care, and wanting to revisit things and replay things. Oh my God.
Good.
But
So it's good stuff.
it's always good stuff. Okay, so Ashley, we're probably gonna wrap up in a little bit, but
Yeah,
before
we could talk about video games forever. So
That's
we
the
should
thing.
probably cut ourselves.
yeah, it will turn into a 5-hour podcast or vodcast at
Yeah.
this point. What do you have planned this week? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm going away to the cabin.
Okay.
For the weekend, trying to just chill. And I'm going to then just continue Alan Wake 2 when I get back.
I'm excited that you're playing Alan Wake 2. I've only heard great things about it, and
Same.
it's just good.
Yeah, I've heard like incredible things. It's so good. I got my two Alan Wake shirts that I ordered today. I love them. I got my Deerfest shirt and I love it. Yeah, I got one shirt that's just Deerfest and then another one that's a little creepier. But I love them. I'm so happy. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
think
pleased.
this week,
But yeah, what are you doing? I feel like I don't have anything else planned.
yeah, I don't know if I have like anything planned super that much. I just texted my partner, "Hey, do you want to go I think I said, oh, I went to a restaurant today for lunch and I
Nice.
tried their harvest soup, and it was like a chicken harvest soup and it was really good. And I literally text my partner, this soup is really good. Do you want to like eat here tomorrow and like come into lunch tomorrow? So we're doing a lunch date tomorrow. My best friend's also in town, so she's like staying with us right now and just kind of vibing. But I think we're gonna go play mini golf and like I want to go play mini golf. So I might just like be like, hey
Mini
y'all,
golf
do
is
you
so
want to go
good.
do mini golf real quick? It's cold and we're just
Dude.
vibing.
Mini golf is so good. Max and I did that for our anniversary. We went out on a road trip to like a mall we never go to just to like get some stuff we need, and then we went mini golfing, and it was the best.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't have any plans for the Saturday or Sunday. I'm just going to, I think, catch up on Netflix shows and exist for a bit because I don't have to do content. So it's always a good time. Is there anything that's like happened in media or any news that's like caught your eye or something?
I have been so busy. I haven't really been doing much media wise. The only thing when I watch anything or do anything is I just started rewatching Hill House,
Oh my God.
which I love.
Are you having a great time with it?
Oh my God, yes. I remember the first time I watched it, I was peeing my pants the whole time. I was terrified. But now I'm just like sad.
That's fair. That's
Yeah, I'm
fair.
like, oh yeah, oh damn, I'm just sad. And I feel like watching it a second time, I'm like shocked that this is my first rewatch because I love Hill House, but it's just kind of like nothing has really scared me
Mm.
yet because I'm like, oh right, this happens and then this happens and then whatever, whatever, and I just like understand everything. And so now I'm just like getting more into the mindsets of the characters, knowing like their arcs that they go on, and then I'm just like, damn, this is art.
Oh, I have a tattoo planned. I just realized.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna get a tattoo. I just talked with the artist today, uh, and I'm getting a little rain cloud, but there's a sun behind it, and it's not really much of a meaning, but other than like I'm a mentally ill person, and sometimes my emotions do change. So like
hmm,
having those moments as a mental reminder of first and foremost, it's natural, it's nature, and
yeah,
things happen in emotions are nature, human nature. So just having that like
mm,
mental reminder just on my arm is gonna be a little
that's
nice.
awesome.
But then also, it's just a cool rain cloud with the sun. So that's the meaning as well.
Nice, nice.
So
Yeah.
that's something I've planned. I have planned, and I'm in the same boat as you. I haven't really paid attention to any media kind of. There's something I'm upset about, but like it's different. We it's I don't personally. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
It's like it's content that I don't think should exist on the internet type of thing.
Okay. Okay.
But that's just the tea. But yeah, I think that's about all I have planned.
Yeah.
Do you want to
I
let
feel like yeah,
people
we could just
know
talk
about?
about the next step
You
that
beat
we're
me
gonna
to it.
have.
I was like, oh my god, we're on the same page right now. Yeah, let people know about the next episode, when it is, and what's gonna happen.
So we're back to our regularly scheduled bi-weekly, where we're gonna have the next episode 2 weeks and on November 16th, and it's going to be dedicated to Trans Awareness Week, which will be fantastic. We'll have some special guests, and we'll be hosting on the It Gets Better Project channel. There's going to be 2 other streams that week of the 12th for Trans Awareness Week, including a stream with Ambassador Winning on Monday, the 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern, and B Place, who will also be a guest on the podcast episode. Oh, spoiler alert! On Wednesday, the 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, things to look forward to, streams to watch. Very exciting, much content from wonderful trans creators. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, the conversation is going to be bumping. You're going to want to be here. Remember, mark this on your calendars,
Yeah.
November 16th, or you could follow It Gets Better on Instagram, and they post the events of any time that we do this podcast. And it sets a reminder for you on your social media as well if you want that. But
Mhm.
definitely come show up for that episode because the tea will be piping hot, and also I'm ready to hear about everything.
Yes, it's going to be so good. It's going to
But
be such a good time.
yeah, y'all, thank you so much for being here for episode 8.
Yes, episode 8. Thank you very, very much for hanging out. Blizz, if they want to get more of your content, where can they find you?
Yeah, hi, my name is Blizz, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Blizz. My full name is Blizz Bear, last name Bear. Not legally, that's a fake name. But I do a lot of true crime content, video game content. I'm still in the scary season, so I'm playing more scary things. But I also do cozy and just chatting streams, and yeah, that's about it. You can find me on every other platform under Blizz Bear, but on Twitch it's just Blizz.
Heck yeah. Nice. For me, I'm Ashley Roboto everywhere, although I'm going to be starting a second YouTube channel under a little bit of a different name that I'm very excited about. But yeah, for right now, I'm Ashley Roboto everywhere. I stream on Twitch for the most part Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, except for tomorrow because I am leaving. But I do variety stuff. I do like cozy just chatting stuff. I'm a huge horror fan, so I do a lot of spooky stuff. I'm playing Alan Wake 2 right now. I'm really, really enjoying it. The last stream I did was a blast. That game is incredible. Blizz, you would love it.
I know, that's the thing,
You
but
would love it. See, I
I
like recommend it to people. It's like you don't even have to stream it. I feel like let the Remedyverse be like your off-stream stuff. Like Alan Wake Control, Alan Wake 2, just experience it because I played Control off stream and it was the best
oh
experience.
wait, so is it
So
Alan Wake and then you have to go to Control and then you do Alan Wake too?
they are all connected, and it's like you don't have to, but if you play Alan Wake and Control while you're playing Alan Wake 2, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's the
Okay.
guy! That's thing. Oh my God. And then it makes it more of a rich experience where you like feel like you have a whiteboard and you're like, look, oh my God, look.
The strings are connecting.
I'm putting the pins in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I have to do
It's
this now.
so good. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And also I would recommend playing the Remedyverse. That's all.
All
I'm a show for Remedy, okay? They don't pay me. They could though.
They could. Hey, who knows?
Hey?
But that's it, y'all.
That's our
We
episode.
will see you on November 16th, and please go hydrate and take care of yourself. I know this episode was a lot with the voting, but remember,
Yes.
self-care is important. So find out what self-care means to you, in a healthy way, of course, and we'll see you next time. Bye, pals.
Yeah.